Hey everybody, and welcome back to another lecture with Coding with Roby. In this lecture, we're going to be installing SQLAlchemy to our application using pip, and then we're going to create a new folder and directory for our to-do application, and then we're going to create a database file where we're connecting to our SQLite database. We're going to be creating an engine for SQLAlchemy, creating our session maker, and then finally creating a base that will allow us to create database models as we inherit the class. Let's start by installing SQLAlchemy to our application. We can do this by typing in pip install SQLAlchemy. Now that I have SQLAlchemy installed, I'm going to close my terminal, and within my parent FastAPI directory, I'm going to create a new directory called to-do application, called to-do app. Now within to-do app, I'm going to create a new file called database.py. And now that we have database.py within our to-do directory, we need to connect to a SQLite database. We can do this by typing in a new variable, SQLAlchemy underscore database underscore URL equals a new string of SQLite colon / dot / todos.db. Now the todos.db means there will be a new DB file created within the directory that's called todos.db, which is going to store all of our data for this application. And now our first step is to create the SQLAlchemy engine. This engine will be used in other areas of our application. To first be able to create an engine, we need to import our SQLAlchemy create engine. So from SQLAlchemy, import create engine. Now under our SQLAlchemy database URL string, let's now create the engine. We can do this by typing in engine equals create engine, and then as the parameters, we're going to pass in our SQLAlchemy database URL, and then we need to pass in some connect arguments. Which is check same thread, which is going to be false. We now need to create a session local class. The session local instance will be a database session. To create a new database session, we must use the session maker function. So therefore, we need to import session maker. So right under SQLAlchemy create engine, let's import from SQLAlchemy.orm import session maker. And now right under the engine, let's create a new variable of session local, which is equal to session maker. And as the parameters, we're going to say auto commit is equal to false, auto flush is equal to false, and bind is equal to engine. And now lastly, we need to create base. Base will allow us to create each database model. So we will inherit the base class in future files. But to be able to create a base, we need to import declarative base. We can import declarative base from SQLAlchemy.ext.declarative import declarative base. And now right under session local, we'll say base equals declarative base. Alright, so to review, we imported create engine, session maker, and declarative base. We then connected to a SQLite database using our SQLAlchemy database URL, and we're going to be creating a new file called todos.db, which is actually going to be storing our database. We then created an engine by saying create engine SQLAlchemy database URL, and then we're passing in the connect arguments of check same thread and false. Those connect arguments are just relative to SQLite and may not be needed in different types of databases. We then created a session local class, which is going to be an instance of a database session. And then finally, we created base, which is going to create the database model, which we will have to inherit in the future videos. This wraps up everything about installing SQLite and starting our database journey. I will see you in the next video.